Hello my friends and welcome to the Imagine Crafts YouTube channel. Katie here, and today I'm going to show you how to create that super simple birthday card. So the products I'm going to use today are some VersaFine Clair inks in Monarch, Paradise, Monarch, Warm Breeze, and Charming Pink. And I'm going to be using the Waffle Flower Rotating Sunburst stencil. I do have the Newton's Nook balloon stencil, but I am not going to use that today. And the stamp set I'm going to use is the new Happy Birthday stamp set and die set from Waffle Flower, and a piece of hot press watercolor paper. So here I'm laying my stencil down, and I'm going to adhere that watercolor panel with a little bit of low-tack tape, and then I'll flip it over and adhere the stencil down to my work surface just to keep everything held down so I don't have to worry about it moving around. So first up is Charming Pink, and I'm just going to go in a circular motion and just start adding this ink on. I'm not real worried about getting a super even blending. I'm okay that some spots are darker, you know, and some spots are lighter than others. I wasn't really trying to you know, get anything perfect. It really kind of was an experiment of colors to see how these would all look together with this particular stencil. So I take a dry microfiber cloth to clear off the stencil before I move on to the next color, and there I was just showing you that there are lines to line up your next section, so you don't have to work really hard to figure out where your next piece is supposed to go, so you can get everything lined up. So here I'm coming in with Warm Breeze, and again, just adding that down, not worrying if there's, you know, light and dark sections or anything like that. One of the things you're going to be able to see here in a second is that some of the edges, like up in that top right corner, some of the edges were covered by the stencil. And so I'm going to show you a little later on how I fix that as well. So here, like here, you can see where that top of that right corner is not going to be able to get that full ray of, you know, sunshine, if you will, to radiate out, but we're going to fix that later. So here I'm coming in with Monarch, and it's a really pretty purple, and I love how this turned out. You know, the Charming Pink actually became a little bit more muted, and so almost a different shade of purple with the blues and things that were blended on there. So I really like how this turned out, the color combination and how they blended together. Okay, so we are coming into the home stretch. We've got our last layer, and that is going to be Paradise. So here I'm just adhering everything down, and the blending brushes, I'm bouncing between the Pink and Main mini blending brushes and the new Altenew mini blending brushes, and I really like smaller brushes to get into smaller spaces, and just gives a little bit more accuracy than the big blending brushes. Okay, so all complete, and you can see in those corners where there's some white. So now I'm just going to take the stencil and just kind of place it in and line it up to where I can fill in with each of the colors. So coming up, we're doing Monarch, and you know what works out well with the way that I ink blended each of the rays, it doesn't have to be perfect when you have to fill in. So it worked out really nice. You don't have a super dark section that, you know, you have to compensate for. So once I get that in, I'm coming in here with the Paradise, and then the last corner in just a second. This is still Paradise. That last corner down at the bottom left is going to be the Warm Breeze. And I just got one more with the Paradise. I just wanted to show all these so that you can see that, you know, sometimes it's not perfect. I think the panel measures 4 1/4 by 5 1/2. That's mumbo, I apologize. And so here we're just filling it in, and you wouldn't even know that you missed spots just by the way the ink blending is. So here I'm using a piece of 48-pound vellum and the VersaMark in Frost, and adding that and inking that up in the Happy Birthday stamp. And I like the Frost because you can really see that on the vellum and make sure that you get a good impression. And so now I'm coming in with my Emboss embossing powder in silver, and here I'm going to heat set it. So just a little bit of heat on the back, and then I'm bringing it to the front until it is nice and smooth and melted and shiny. And then I'm going to go, once this cools for a second, I'm going to die cut that. And there you can see that up at the top. And then I just took the die and cut out 2 more pieces of vellum so that I could layer this up, just to give a little bit more, give it a little less transparency by layering up that vellum. And I say it all the time when I'm using vellum, I really like the On Point glue for that, to use with vellum, because you really cannot see the glue once you have everything layered up together. So it's really, really nice. Okay, third layer, happy birthday. And then we're going to add a little bit of On Point glue to the back of that and adhere it to the front of our panel. That's going to cover up that little white center spot, and we're going to have a nice happy birthday card. Once I get that done, I do use a piece of black heavyweight cardstock. That's going to be my card base. And that's going to be side folding, so it's A2 size side folding, and we'll get that adhered down. Now I do use a little bit of On Point glue on the back of my panel. Sometimes I get a little heavy-handed with liquid glue, and so it seeps out of the, the sides and stuff. So, and I usually use my bone folder, which I'm using here, but I found with the On Point, if I just use the edge of a paper towel and really wipe it down, it removes all the glue and it doesn't leave a sheen, which is great. So here I'm coming in and just going over the lines. I started with some dots, but with the sheer shimmer stick with the dauber top and sparkle, and I ended up going and just going from the dots that I'd put down and just creating some lines along those rays, just to give a little bit of shimmer. Hard to see in the video and even in the photos, but now I'm coming in with some iridescent clear droplets on the top, and here I'm just filling in a little bit more of that sheer shimmer stick, and that's going to wrap up the card, my friends. I hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, please give it a thumbs up, and don't forget to subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. I want to thank you all so much for joining me today. I hope you have a fantastic day, and I'll catch you in the next video.